Al Arabiya's geopolitical security analyst, Riad Kahwaji. Riad, thank you so much for joining us. First of all, Riad, according to reports, several people have died in an Israeli strike on the Houthi armed forces media building in Yemen. That was happening today. What more do we know about what's happening?
Well, the information is now coming through. It seems that Israel has hit targets this time related to what is known as the Directorate of Moral Guidance. This is the department responsible for the media communications at the Houthi, and also targeted a couple of publications, newspapers, local newspapers, also believed to be owned by the Houthi. So again, Israel is going after high-profile targets as a means to elevate its deterrence. Try to get the Houthi to cease their attacks, via drones, using drones or ballistic missiles that have been interrupting air traffic at major airports in Israel. So, based on what we have so far, is the Israelis are out of military options. They are out of military targets. So now they're going after infrastructure and high-profile targets as well related to the political establishment, which I believe, as well as other experts do, it has a little of any impact on the decision-making of the Houthi leadership with respect to the continued firing of these ballistic missiles and drones.
And Riad, Israel brought their war with Hamas to the streets of Doha yesterday. Was the attack worth it for Israel, or was it a complete miscalculation?
Well, if you have to take it from the perspective of Prime Minister Netanyahu, they are in an existential war against Hamas, that they have vowed revenge and the elimination of all the leadership of the party, which they say were responsible for the October 7th attacks. So from their own perspective, it is worth it. But did it actually achieve the objectives? Was there actually an elimination of this leadership? So far, we don't know. But the Israeli media today seems to be more pessimistic that the intended targets were not eliminated, which is the Hamas leadership. But I believe the attack by itself has done a lot of political damage than any tactical gains.
And also, Qatar plays a pivotal role on the international stage, Riad, hosting negotiations in a number of conflicts for decades. How will Israel's attack on Doha impact the ceasefire talks between Hamas and Israel?
Leigh-Ann, this is significant. For the first time ever, we see a country that is involved in trying to resolve a conflict between two parties, and two parties agreeing for the mediation provided by this host country gets attacked. And for the first time also, we see one country involved in a conflict with another and engaged in negotiations to resolve it, eliminates the negotiators from the other side. So this is absolutely flabbergasting. This is unprecedented. Definitely, Qatar has already announced that they're pulling out from their mediation. Is going to make any country now think twice, maybe more, before considering hosting talks between Israel and any other parties, whether it is Hamas or the Iranians or anybody else, because they would fear that Netanyahu would be, or the Israeli government would be carrying out such a strike, which is an attack on the sovereignty of the host country. So this is so wrong on so many levels when it comes to international norms and international law.
And as you did say, Riad, this is unprecedented. But what does it actually mean for one of the big successes of President Trump's first term? And that was, of course, Riad, the Abraham Accords. And we've spoken about that so many times. But following this attack, are the Abraham Accords under threat now? And will we see Donald Trump be able to extend those like he wanted to do in his second term? And what does this also mean for Arab-US relations, which Donald Trump, of course, was in Qatar and Saudi Arabia recently?
I will start from the last part of your question. The biggest victim of yesterday's attack was the U.S.-Arab relations. U.S. relations with its Arab allies was tremendously and seriously undermined by yesterday's attack. There was a U.S. airbase in Doha, which failed to do anything, which is now, if you look at the social media, everybody in the region, almost everybody, believes the U.S. was complicit in this, and the U.S. failed to provide the security it was supposed to do so by having this base in Qatar. So relations severely undermined. Going to the Abrahamic Accords, the anticipation was we will see more Arab Gulf countries joining the Abrahamic Accords. This is now all being fading away, undermined by Netanyahu's actions. First, by saying that they're going to be annexing the West Bank. By the way, one of the main reasons the Abu Dhabi signed the Abrahamic Accords was the Israelis agreeing not to build any more settlements and not to annex the West Bank. Now they're saying they want to annex back, and we heard the reaction from UAE that they will actually pull out from these accords. Now, attacking Doha, a neighboring Arab Gulf country, an ally, and a very active mediator, will definitely put big question marks on the possibility of reviving efforts to enlarge the Abrahamic Accords, bring in more signatories to it, at least not with this Israeli government. This Israeli government, Netanyahu's government, has failed at all levels. There is no credibility to it, and there will not be any peace with any country in the region with it staying in power, and the continuation of their policies where they have no regard to anybody and attacking and continuing this continued military campaigns and widening to reach other places is now threatening the peace treaties Israel had signed with its Arab neighbors.
Riad Kahwaji, Al Arabiya's geopolitical security analyst and, of course, friend of the show. Thank you so much for joining us.